we're going to bring on to let him in. I'm going to put up the research. I'm going to share my screen again. Let's go. Toggle screen sharing. 1 second. Okay, we're going to show you something. We're going to show you our research report. And then we're going to get into the other stocks too, guys. So it's not going to be just this. But I'm going to pull up the GameStop research report from GME. Can you see that?
We see it, but it's sized for ants right now. So any ants in the audience could read it. If you're not an ant, it might be a little small. Can you give us some zooms?
Oh, my God, Lukey. Okay, and guys, if you've been watching the show every day and you guys use Benzinga Pro for real-time news, Luke, I want you to show Benzinga Pro as well. But I want to show you the GMED
and I've got to show you guys the short interest chart that we looked at yesterday to see how many shares are available.
I don't think you can even short GME in Ameritrade right now.
There are zero. I use Interactive Brokers, but it has amazing short locate. It's maybe not as good as a couple other ones, but for the mainstreams, it's got the best. And there are zero right now.
Shane Parker just put an apology and a mail call out. He said, I just saw Luke buy yesterday. My apologies, kind sir. So, Shane, give us some likes. Tell your friends, respect. But, listen, I'm always open to listening to ideas. I may not have seen it at first, but then when I did the research and I saw how you guys, there's 1 million pet food sites. Actually, I started a pet food site like 10 years ago, MVP Express, because pet food's hard to deliver. It's heavy. It's shipping costs. Anyone that can execute and out-execute Amazon on it is someone I am interested in. I may not know the whole story. It's like, Luke, some of those stocks that I bought, when I bought Tesla or, Upwork, people didn't know the story. The numbers weren't there to support Tesla and Upwork, but the vision was, and I don't know exactly what their plan is, but I know the people. So now let's bring on Rod. Is Rod here?
Yep, let's bring him on. Let's go. First air horn of the day. Y'all know I love my soundboard. As much as you might not like it, I can't help myself.
Wait,
Rod, what's up, man? Welcome to the Power Hour, baby.
Rod, before you go, hey, how are you? I want to address one thing in the chat. Someone says, if you don't understand GME, why don't you buy it? When I bought Tesla stock and I see this car on the road, I didn't understand the stock, but I liked the car. I liked what they're doing, and hopefully the trend follows. And eventually it did. So I buy a lot of stuff that I don't fully get the story because you can the cool thing about the stock market, guys, and that's why I like it better than real estate. You can always sell. It's a lot more liquid than real estate. So buying and selling. Okay, now Rod, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming on.
Doing pretty good. Lucas, your buy yesterday looked pretty good. Those 100 shares are up, what, almost 50%?
Woo! All right, let me pull it up. I'm looking. We're about 50%. $41. We touched 60 just a second ago. But yes, like I said yesterday, I've never seen so much energy in an individual name. The first crypto wave, the second crypto wave, the 3D printing stocks, all of them. So yep, I'm in it.
And Luke, did you end up getting any calls too, or just the common?
Just the common.
Got it. Just the common.
Hey, look, this you guys are talking about this as a momentum thing, and I would say you may want to look out to 2023 for some of those calls because this is a long-term story. This is a re-rating story. This is a completely different company than it was a week and a half ago, in my opinion.
And yeah, let's hear the story. That's why we're so glad you could join us today. Like we said, we don't know the story fully. Jason, it sounds like he did some research last night. I didn't. I was just reading all the Reddit comments.
I did. Yeah,
but fill us in, and for all of our normal listeners who aren't the GME crowd, they need to know.
Luke, I was about to book a Delta plane and find Ryan Cohen. That's how much research I did. I was hardcore. But yeah, go ahead, Rod. You know it better than us. Let's go.
Yeah, I've been invested since 2017. I've spent hundreds, if not thousands of hours personally and in collaboration with a lot of other small retail investors. So we know this thing like the back of our hand. And, look, when I first got in, it was not the same thesis that it is today, but let's bring it fully up to present. Jason, you were talking about Ryan Cohen being added to the board, Alan Atal from Chewy, Jim Group from Chewy. So you got 3 members of the Chewy team that have been added to GameStop's board after there was I called it a bloodless coup, is how I termed it on Twitter, the settlement last Sunday. So the board is going to change pretty significantly. Ryan, of course, is the largest shareholder, and I think he laid out a teaser of what his vision is going to be in that letter he wrote to GameStop's board in November. So, look, what we did at GMEDD.com is on behalf of a group of, a loose collective of retail investors. And let me be clear, I'm a small fry. I have a few thousand shares, some call options. I'm not a millionaire, billionaire, whatever. But we wanted to fight back against what we perceived to be some misinformation campaigns being run by those aforementioned billionaires and millionaires. So we put out this content, and look, do your own due diligence is what I say. Don't just buy some stock because some guy tells you to. Read into it, understand what's going on, look forward. And that's the big thing. These people are looking backward, and they're looking at dismal financials on face value. You see some pretty poor income statement results. There's some non-cash items in there, goodwill written down, asset impairments. Okay, great. GameStop hasn't blown it out of the water in the past, but we need to look at what is it? It's a company that is at the nexus of physical. They basically tie everybody together in the gaming space, right? They have relationships with Microsoft, with Sony, to distribute their product with the publishers. Now, we all know that physical gaming is diminishing over time, but that's not their only business. And that doesn't mean that they can't pivot and use the cash flow they're going to generate over the next few years. So I think Hedgeye did a good job bringing it to light to some folks who otherwise hadn't been looking at it in the past month or two. So kudos to those guys. I think Keith McCulloch was actually talking about last night, the big hedge fund manager who fired him, who presumably is among the big shorts here, because you can't really talk about it without talking about this really strange short interest that's going on. So, look, I just rambled on for a second, but it's a lot to unpack, and there is a lot to the story. It's not just a meme stock. I'm invested for the long term. I'm not here to make a couple bucks on a flip. I've been in for years, and I plan on being in for years.
Got it. Now, and GameStop's one of these things. How often do you make big trades like this or get so passionate about a trade? Have you ever created a website and done this before on other issues that were being targeted or what have you?
No, look, I never thought that I would do something like this. And let me be clear that this is a team effort, and I'm not going to dox the people that I've worked on this with, because for the time being, I'm the only person who's, I think, there's a couple others out there, but I'm one of the ones who's been most loud and vocal and public with my name attached to it, and I'm fine with that. And, if people want to come and attack me, and, well, I hope you don't send pizzas to my house, like it seems like it's happened to some of these other people. But, we feel like people are disrespectful towards smaller players purely because they don't have the pocketbook to back it up. And that doesn't mean that we're unintelligent or wrong. And look, we put this due diligence up purely to foster discussion. We wanted to foster discussion with our viewpoint of how the future could look based on all the known information that Ryan and team have put out in that letter, that the existing legacy management team has put out with their GameStop reboot strategy. Look, it is a profoundly different company today than it was a few years ago already, even before Ryan Cohen. There's a lot to the story. GameStop is a cyclical company by its nature. If you look at the stock chart, you can see it's based on the console cycle. Video gaming is a huge TAM. It's going to be over $200 billion globally in a few years. Now, there are subsets of that. There's mobile, PC, console. And a lot of people lump it all together and say, oh, everything's going digital. Who's buying video games on a disc anymore? And they immediately poo-poo and say GameStop's Blockbuster 2.0. They had a new CEO come in 2019, George Sherman. So his team has done a great job slashing SG&A. Look, GameStop was a creation of a lot of years of M&A. They bought Funko Land back in the day, Babbage's, EB, in 2005, I think it was, Electronics Boutique. So they had a massive bloated physical footprint that worked in the days of all your media being consumed physically, and it just simply didn't work in today's day and age, where physical is going to take a smaller share of the pie. But that doesn't mean that the pie is going away altogether. So they've, over the last year and a half, been closing stores, been densifying the store footprint, that legacy footprint. I'm sure you guys probably remember years ago, you're walking through a mall and you see GameStop here and EB Games there, and it's like, Jesus, how many stores do they need? Well, look, I see people like Kramer's, and I saw Citron yesterday incorrectly. They keep saying it's a mall-based retailer. Well, it's actually 90% strip mall domestically. So it's not the same lease obligation or foot traffic whims of a mall-based retailer. So look, I can go on and on for hours about this. You can tell I'm pretty passionate about it, but there's a lot more to it. It's a new management team. They've pivoted. They are slashing costs. they realize that they need to be digital first. And I think Ryan and co being added to the board just straps a rocket engine on it.
Yeah, and I love the comment that you made about like the retail investor that they often get written off. Like our whole mission at Benzinga. I mean, we started 10 years ago with the goal of leveling the playing field. That's what it was, right? We saw that a Bloomberg terminal costs literally $25,000 a year to have a real-time news feed. And that's where we made, okay, let's make a real-time news feed. Let's make it available to TD Ameritrade. You know, let's make it available to people, because it's like, yes, the retail investor gets written off. And a lot of times the retail investor can find things that the institutions won't look at.
That's so true. Like, it's like take it back. It's like, it was so unfair. At one point, people on Wall Street got news before everyone else, and Bloomberg still has some of those advantages. Benzinga Pros, which we do, Rod, is like our answer to Bloomberg. It's our answer to Bloomberg. Bloomberg, I mean, they won't even sell people that know us subscriptions because they think that we're a competitor. I mean, Bloomberg does
people
$5 billion.
Who have like commented about us before have had their Bloomberg subscriptions terminated. It's crazy.
Isn't that crazy, Rod?
For my day job, I do have a Cap IQ subscription, so I find that there is still information asymmetry advantages that people who are willing to pay can get. But by and large, you can find anything and everything free of charge in a lot of places today as a small retail player. And there are advantages, I think, to your point, of some paid services to get some. Maybe they can scan and filter and do it in a way you can't, but it's a different world. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there are advantages of subscriptions because there's no advertisements and all that. People use our Benzinga Pro, but I get what you're saying. Like, people want a silence, and you want your voices heard, and it's the same thing with us. We want to grow against the big companies that have been around for years. We want to grow and innovate, and when you get a guy, and we say Ryan Cohn, but these two other board members to come on the board of this company,
yeah,
it means something, because you don't want to be on the board of a company. Yeah, I was asked to be on a board of a company, and I evaluated. What do I think it'll be in 3 years? What it'll be in 5 years? And is the management willing to listen? And it means something if you're willing to listen. It truly does. And to make asymmetric returns in the market, Rod, I think you have to make asymmetric. But you have to make bets that are against the norm and early, before the vision is really played out. I mean, people didn't know when Costco started. They didn't know they're going to go across the country. So. Yeah, it's my take.
Yeah. And Daniel in the chat says he loves you.
Thanks, Daniel.
One question that I always ask whenever anybody's giving a stock thesis is timeline. What would be your expectation where we start to see the strategy change start to trickle down to financials, that sort of thing?
So the financials are going to be very interesting. One thing I'll share, and I discovered, interestingly, that you can discern some interesting information from GameStop's ongoing sales results if you just look really closely. I won't go into detail on it, but I've been putting out a financial model, modeling out 4Q financials, given that insight that I was able to uncover. And I've been putting it out on Twitter for a while now. And I was pretty spot on with the comp and the total sales results for the holiday sales update. I think they ended up coming in with the comp result in the mid-single digits up. I called for low single digits, and the total sales, I called for a high single-digit decline. They came in low single-digit decline. So it was pretty close. And that's straight from just crowdsourcing data from passionate, small retail investors to put together different pieces of the puzzle. Now, I also have access to some data that is paid that I've gotten to help paint the full picture. But look, this is just a truly unique situation. I know you guys were talking about the short interest, and it's honestly baffling. I pinged you, Jason, a chart that I had tweeted out from Cap IQ with the historical short interest. I don't know if you guys can put that up on the screen, but it really just paints a picture of how this cyclical company, was basically left for dead. Look at what the market cap was. Look at what the stock price was. It was in the low single digits. It was left for dead for the last year. And it wasn't until August when Ryan Cohen basically said, hey, I see something here. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. He filed a 13D. He went to, I think it was initially 9% share ownership. He basically became the largest investor of the company seemingly out of the blue. And look, so you got it up on the screen. You see the company's been around for for decades. The console cycle, you see the blue line is the market cap. So you see back in '08, in 13, 14, you see the prior peaks coinciding with the new console launches. I'm talking about PlayStation 3 and 4 and now 5, and Xbox's commensurate product. But you see the current management has bought back a lot of shares over the last year and a half. So the orange-yellow line, shares outstanding, you see that that's come down significantly from over 102 million down to the fully diluted 69 and change that we're at now. Yet look at the green line. That's short interest. So this whole Blockbuster thesis, this whole they're going away, no one's going to buy physical games, this thing's been around for decades. I know in my research, I've gone back to 2010, and I'm sure there's stuff from even before then with people kind of comparing them. I mean, Blockbuster didn't go under till about then, so I guess it makes sense. But this whole thesis that physical gaming, console gaming is going away is not something new. And look at how heavily the shorts made their bet in going into this cycle. I mean, I've tried to find comparables in financial market history of companies where there's been a durable short interest on par with shares outstanding. And you guys are more knowledgeable about me. I've never found something like this. So these guys are highly convicted on their side of the argument. I think that the long players, including Ryan and co, are highly convicted in their side. It's going to take time to see results. You're going to see fourth quarter results come in, let's say 2.2 or so billion, 2.25 is kind of my take right now, a little bit below the street's mean, the median I think I'm closer to. So it's going to take time to implement all these changes. But one thing I'll say, look, you made the point, Jason, if you're going to join a board, it's a company you think that's going to be around for years. You're not going to join a board if you don't have a business in the air. What? Say that again?
Halted, is that what we're seeing right now?
Checking my Benzinga Pro real quick. Rod, what do you think the price is right now? Wow. Since you've been on, guess what the price is?
Sorry, I cheated. It was 60 when I started talking.
Rod, what'd you say?
No, I was saying I looked at my Apple Watch. I cheated.
Yep. Yeah. Can you switch me over, producer Rohan?
You're live.
All right. We got Benzinga Pro up. We've got shares halted on circuit breaker up 69%. That triggered at 12:41:02. Somebody in the chat correct me. I believe the circuit breakers are 5-minute halts. They may be 10-minute halts. We'll get an official reopening time from NYSE in a second here. I see a comment in the chat.
Is that Benzinga Pro, Luke?
Yes, sir. This is Benzinga Pro. Pro.benzinga.com. All my real-time market news. Way cheaper than a Bloomberg. If you guys want to try it, it's pro.benzinga.com, 2-week trial. But I've got a question in the chat asking what a halt means. Basically, it means that the stock is moving so much that the exchange essentially thinks that something may be wrong or something's going on, and so they basically pause it, right? They say stop, take a breather. We're going to clear out the order book. Then everybody's going to line back up. We're going to figure out what price we're going to reopen this thing at and resume trading again. It's not unusual for a stock when it gets halted once on it's called a circuit breaker is what the term that's used when a stock gets halted when it's moving like this. It's not unusual to see it be halted like several times throughout the day. So we just got the first one today. Again, stock up 69%. We'll see when we reopen. I would imagine it's going to be 12:46. Again, somebody correct me if this is a 10-minute halt instead of a 5-minute halt. But that's the move with GME right now.
Why do they halt it at 69%?
Well, that's my pin on my computer.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's my
We have a 169 bull case price target.
I saw that. Creative,
oh my god,
like Elon's what was it, the 420 funding secured on Tesla. So
look, this is I was in the chat yesterday when you guys it was going crazy, and I think it is really crazy the fervor that's going on around this stock. It's a variety of things, and I'm not trying to talk about this whole concept of some short squeeze because my thesis is based on fair market value. It has nothing to do with this strange situation we find ourselves in. But Fair market value, you've got to look forward, not backwards. And I think the issue here is the sell side for years now on GameStop's been looking backwards. And I said this to some of my close friends and consorts, and I said Monday, I said after this settlement came out, I am more convicted in the GameStop bull thesis at $20 now than I was in the summer at $5, given all known information. So if that doesn't tell you that the game has changed and the story's changed, if somebody's been in this for years, I don't know what to say. It's mind blowing though how quickly this re-rating is occurring, because that's what I chalk it up to. This is not covering. I mean, look, the daily short algo providers, there's a couple of them out there. They aren't showing any signs of covering. So to me, this looks like incremental long accumulation, people buying into the go forward thesis. That's all it is to me.
Yeah. And you brought up the short interest argument. I'm just going to throw this one out here. Yesterday we showed that Interactive Brokers had 1 million shares available to short. Sometime in the middle of the night, and it dropped down to 100,000 when we were on the show yesterday. We went from 200,000 early, 7 a.m. to now zero. Literally zero shares available to short from IBKR.
Wow, what a story, Rod.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate you coming on and talking with us. And if you think there's anyone else that we should talk to about GameStop, let us know or introduce us. We just want to tell the fair story and both sides. That's what we do, and we try to do a lot of research. We're about 90 people here, but again, we're trying to take on the Bloombergs of the world, and we need your help to do it. We need you guys, and we're a financial news source, and we reinvented how news was done about 5 years ago, and we're still not there to what our goal is, but we want to always tell both sides.
Yeah, well, look, thanks so much for giving me a platform and an opportunity just to tell, as a small retail investor, my perspective of why I think that it's a good investment for the long term going forward. It's not Blockbuster 2.0. So thanks so much, guys, for having me on. And I hope that you guys get a chance to speak with Ryan. I look forward to hearing more from him publicly in the months to come.
We have to get Ryan. I mean, I was so dedicated last night to getting Ryan. I went to so many different people, and people that I met in Florida, people that would know him. I had a restaurant owner.
And we're reopened, guys. We might get halted again. It looks like it's really close to that second circuit breaker. But sorry, keep going.
So GameStop is open. GME is open for trading. It could get the second circuit breaker. But yeah, I was trying it all. The guy, I couldn't get a hold of him yet, but I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. I'll tell you that. I think if you talk it out loud, you breathe it into life, and hopefully we'll get him. If you guys have an avenue to him, let us know. You can follow me at Jason Raznick on Twitter and DM me, or Benzinga and DM us. We'll bring him on anytime, any hour, any minute to hear a little bit more about the thesis, or the two other board members from Chewy. They both have great stories. I mean, these guys are successful people that take concentrated bets, and I like that, and I like to hear the vision of it. I mean, guys, when Jeff Bezos was doing tech books, the stock went down from $100 to $10, right? And people thought I was going under and whatever. Look where Amazon is at today. I'm not saying that's what GameStop is. I'm just saying when people don't believe something that they can't see sometimes. They can't see it, so they don't want to believe it. And they just say, there's no way. So I like looking at those things and trying to find opportunities when other people don't. And that's what you guys are doing. So, and if you have other stocks that you find interesting that people are counting out, let us know. We want to hear both sides on anything.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. It's been a pretty life-changing experience for a lot of the folks that have been around since $4 a share. So those of us that are in this GameStop bandwagon, so to speak, we'll have to look for some more gems. Interesting things happen when you dig deep.
Yeah. I mean, so we're news, but we have a news, but me and Luke on the show, we make trades. So we make trades. So that's why it's a little different, and we disclose it. We don't do anything not that people don't. So that's the only thing different. Our news thing, if you guys are looking at Benzinga Pro News, you're not going to see I just bought GameStop. It's not that. It's news. On the show, it's fun for the show, and we make trades. But just to be clear. So yeah, Rod, stay in touch. If you have any other stocks like this, or maybe you'll come on next week and get an update on GameStop. So thank you, man. It's been great.
Sounds
and just appreciate you being open to put some words out about the company. So thank you.
Thanks very much for having me, guys. I will be continuing to tweet about GameStop at Rod Alzmann if you want to give it a go.
Yep, we put Aaron, put Yep, Aaron, put that in the chat, please. We put your Twitter name in the chat a few times, but please put Rod's chat name in the chat again. Aaron, thank you very much. All right,
Yeah, and the
Rod,
website,
thanks for coming on.
gmedd.com. Thanks, guys.
Oh yeah, gmedd.com. I'll put. I shared that. I had that up on the screen before. I had the website up at gmedd.com. All right, Rod. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
Have a great weekend.
You too.